Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to interview my grandfather, Dr. Alvin Berger. He's written a book in 2017 called Adama, A Mind of Her Own, and he's out with his second book, We Love You, Madam President. Dr. Berger has been active in civic organizations. He was a president of Hamden Probus Club, as well as the chairman of his pilot Penn Tennis Tournament. He's a member of the Connecticut State Dental Association, as well as a fellow in many international dental organizations. He retired from his active practice in 2002 and resides in Florida with his significant other, Vera Getz. He has 2 children, Randy Berger and Gary Berger, as well as 3 grandchildren, Max Kazimierek, Lauren Kazimierek, and of course, me, Austin Berger. Let me give you a short synopsis of the book before we begin. The invention of a sentient computer imported from Israel leads to political chaos in America. This computer is more than human, better than human, with its limitless memory storage and human characteristics, which proved to be big trouble for the President of the United States. His mistakes lead to his downfall, and some in his cabinet. With Washington in chaos, 2 CIA agents and some members of the Senate try to halt what the deep state conspirators want to accomplish through bribery and deceit. The murder of anyone who gets in the way means nothing to them. It's just mere collateral damage of their nefarious plans. Rising from the tumult is a brilliant woman who breaks through the ultimate glass ceiling as she fights to become the first female president with the knowledge of the world at her fingertips. She must rely on her own intuition and the goodness of humanity to shine through the darkness of dirty politics. With that out of the way, let's now say hello to my wonderful and amazing grandfather, Dr. Alvin Berger.
So the wonderful, amazing, that's an add-on, is that correct?
Of course. You got to embellish a little bit, but it's true. It really is. Welcome, Poppy. So how did you begin your journey into writing?
Well, actually, it's a short story. During my pre-dental days, it was just school, music, and working to pay for school. I never read many books for pleasure, but read voraciously the technical books that we had in my graduate school at Temple University. I read slowly to get every word that you said. You know that from your work at University of Miami, Austin. I was busy with family and outside activities, as you mentioned in your opening remarks. Your grandmother passed away in 2010, and I met Vera, whose husband passed away in 2012. We had known each other for many years as couples, so it ended up that we became partners. During the years that we lived together, I wrote her many sweet notes. She said I should write a book because she was impressed with my writing and the use of the language. I said, what? Me? Write a book? Are you kidding me? No, was her answer. So I sat down one day and began my first book. I only knew the last part of it and just told a story as it entered my mind. I tried to do an outline. It didn't work, so I just winged it. And that's how it happens with authors. They either begin with an outline or you have to do it by the seat of your pants, which is what I did, the latter. After I finished writing, the hard part was of editing, and it hit me. Vera and I must have gone through the book 5 times, and each time we kept on finding errors. So it didn't make any sense that we did it personally. So I ended up, had it done professionally. This book, I decided that we done differently. I still only knew the end part of the book and just sat down and wrote it as if I was actually living through this whole process. I found that the only way I could write it was to not do the outline, but have the thoughts come into my head and just let it flow, which is what I did. I also tried to do self-editing, but this time I hired a professional at iUniverse to do the actual editing, laying out the book. The cover design was very important, as that's what catches the eye first. As I know, when you walk into Costco and you walk into these, you look at a book, you say, hey, that's the book for me. So this book has a very catching cover of a woman who has her hand raised and she's being given the oath of office. The cover design, as I said, was really important. And they did the final cover design, which I thought was really good. I'm actually very pleased with the way they handled the whole procedure. So now we're going to continue on. Any questions?
That is really interesting, and I do really enjoy the story about the cover. Do you have any other hobbies?
Yeah, I took up golf later in life, and I'm happy to say that my handicap is about 13. My index is 12.4. So that's pretty good for a guy who was 88 years old. And I typically shoot my age every time I play. And if
88
I
years
don't,
young.
and if I don't, I'm going to lose money. So I end up giving my friends lots of shots. Um, and I also do. I sculpted and I did some painting in oils, which I really enjoyed. And of course, I posted those on Facebook, and I get many nice responses from that. But otherwise, I'm continuing working on this book, and I'm ready to go.
That is an exciting life, especially for someone of your wisdom and age. So how do you plan to market this book?
Well, I have a contract with iUniverse, and they set up an ad with the New York Times, and I'm actually doing another ongoing ad with the Sun Sentinel here in Florida. And I hope that I can sell 150,000 copies within the next week. No. Well, my hope is that people will read the book, enjoy it, and tell their friends that they can read it. And it's mostly word of mouth. So if people watch this YouTube video, they'll go out and they will immediately purchase the book through Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or iUniverse. And I think it would be great. I would love to see more people reading it. I really enjoyed writing it. It took me probably 400 hours, plus all the time of editing and reviewing. So I'm ready to go.
A labor of love, I'm sure.
It is a labor of love.
Just one more question for you. How do our viewers order your book?
They can order it Amazon. It's the easiest way to do it. It's on Kindle, or they can go to a bookstore like Barnes and Noble, and they can purchase it there. Or they can go directly to iUniverse, set up an account, and order it there. So my hope is that this video will reach 150,000 or 200,000 people, and each of them will go out and buy a book. And it's a great gift for Christmas.
I agree with that.
Austin, you're a great interviewer. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your time. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Alvin Berger. His first book was Adama, A Mind of Her Own, and his second book just came out, We Love You, Madam President.
Yeah, don't go away. I got one more thing to show you. Copy of the book.
That is a very nice cover, like you said.
It is. Anyhow, thanks, Austin.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you watch this video and purchase the book. And thank you again, Dr. Alvin Berger, for joining us.